Dear listeners and viewers, depending on where you are joining us from, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Once again, welcome on FOASPS TV and in your show all about FOASPS. We will be back shortly. Welcome back. The topic of our discussion today is FOASPS services. And we have a guest. He is Mr. Alain Kofi Kumoji. He is the Permanent Secretary of FOASPS. Welcome, sir.
Well, good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I thank God.
Thank you. Well, we are going today to know all about FOASPS when it comes to their services. FOASPS is into public and private dialogue promotion when it comes to the health sector, but also they are into advocacy. And today we are going to discover more about the services that they give. And the one and only that is going to entertain us will be answering us the first question: how did this service came about?
Okay, thank you. We are the Permanent Secretariat of FOASPS, have the responsibility to develop our country federations to support their movement from one category to the other in our theory of change scale. That means we have to provide some kind of strengthening their capacities, training, coaching, providing advisory services to our country federations. So to do that, we need to have, let me say, two ways. Whether we use our permanent staff or we recruit external consultant to do the job. Now, as it is now, we are mostly using our internal staff. That is why when we recruit our staff, especially the head of department, we make sure that they have this capacity not only to deliver the services that they have to deliver within the organization, but that they also have the capacity to train other people to do the same. Okay? So, yes, because we have that capacity, we can now give that service to external clients above our country federations. So that is why we decided to create a special department that is supported by all our head departments to provide those various services.
So what are the services that you offer? What services do you offer?
Our services covers as a whole what we can call organizational development and human resources development, leadership, governance, you name it. So therefore, we give that possibility to our client to enjoy some of those services. Okay?
Yeah.
Sometimes we provide trainings, like I said. Sometimes we are called on to facilitate what we usually call meetings or gathering events that carry some kind of stake, some kind of challenges. So when you have a challenging meeting, for example, that maybe you suspect that there could be some conflict, etc., you need somebody who will be in position to moderate the situation and make sure that the conflict does not appear, or if the conflict does appear, you will have somebody who will have the capacity to calm down the situation. So this is within the facilitation. Okay. As I said, we also coach. Not only we train in coaching, but we also coach. If the request from the client is to coach their staff to help them to develop a certain specific capacity, then we also coach. Yes.
Okay, so you are into facilitating, you are into coaching and mentoring, you are into training in diverse, areas.
Yes.
So I would like you to maybe explain to your audience what is it about coaching and mentoring? How relevant it is for your service?
Okay. This is a very important, I would say, capacity for a person who is at a kind of supervisory step in the management of an organization. If you are a supervisor, it means that you have supervisees. Okay? So the question is, how do you make sure that your supervisees are able to be supportive to the work that you as a supervisor you are doing? Okay? So the major tool that we have to ensure that is coaching and mentoring.
Yeah.
Okay? Meaning that you coach them. Sometimes it can be by training. Sometimes it can be by delegating some of your tasks that you believe they can carry out. While they are doing it, you apply some kind of control over the work they are doing, and you make sure that if they are doing some mistake, you can correct them, and then through this process of learning and doing, you will be developing their capacity.
Yeah.
It is very much important because that is what can guarantee that later on you can delegate to them.
Yeah.
If you don't coach your supervisor, you cannot delegate to him or her. Okay, so this is why we are talking about coaching and mentoring. Now, we say coaching and mentoring because there is a small difference. You are coaching a person when you are, let me say, you are directive.
Yeah.
You are telling the person, you have to do this, do that, etc., etc. And when the person is doing it, you are controlling. From time to time, you call the person to see if he or she is doing well. So you are directive. But when you are in mentoring, you position yourself as somebody who is available for your supervisees to come to and seek support. So if you see the difference,
Yeah.
is that in one aspect, coaching, you are directive.
Yeah.
You are in control, you the supervisor.
Yeah.
But when you are in a mentoring position, you don't apply control, but you make yourself available to give support if it is requested by a supervisee. So the two works hand in hand to develop the capacity of your supervisees.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
And also that is why mentoring can be done by somebody who is not necessarily your direct supervisor. I'm talking from the perspective of the supervisee.
Yeah.
If I am in a work and I believe that I know somebody who maybe has been in that position in the past and who has such experience that I can learn from, I can decide to make that person my mentor. And I can call on him or her from time to time to seek support and to enjoy the experience that that person has. So the mentor can be out of your organization.
Okay.
The mentor can be in the organization, but in another department. If we are talking about big organizations, your mentor can be in another department, while the coach basically should be very close to you.
Yeah.
So most of the time, it will be your supervisor or a colleague of the same rank. working in the same department with you.
All right. So, mentoring and the coaching and mentoring. I would like to know, is it open, this service, is it open to the public or is only for the country federation? Can anybody in the society come to FOASPS and request for that service?
Okay, yes, of course, like I said, we coach, we mentor,
Yeah.
and we also train in coaching and mentoring.
All right.
So it depends on what the client wants. In a situation, we were called on to coach a particular staff to develop the capacity to do a specific work. Okay, so we can do that, we provide that. Even in 2 situations, we had to do that. Okay. In Sierra Leone and in Madagascar, we did coaching.
Yeah.
But we can also organize a training in coaching and mentoring, this time for our participants to develop their capacity to do that coaching and mentoring.
Interesting.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because when you are training somebody, you don't train the person does not enjoy directly from coaching and mentoring.
Yeah.
But the person develops its or her capacity to be able to do that in her organization.
So it's only when you are implementing what you've been taught that you really understand what is it about.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that is why our coaching and mentoring training program is designed in various levels.
Okay.
The first level is the training program, 3 days. You, the participants, you sit in a room with the trainer and we organize the training. We go through the process for you to understand the rationale, how do you do this, etc., etc. At the end of this, we give a certificate of 1 first level. Now, if you want to go beyond that first level as participant, you sign in for the 2nd level. The 2nd level is that you take 2 supervisees, 2 people who are within your department and at your supervisee position. And you give us their name, your name, etc. You fill a form and you request to attend the 2nd level. That 2nd level, you don't sit in a room with us.
Oh, okay.
You just proceed, you coach and you mentor your supervisees, and we, the facilitators of this process, we are with you at distance.
Yeah, and you observe.
And we observe from time to time, we participate in your meeting with that supervisee, etc., etc. And at the end of the day, there is an evaluation of what you've been able to achieve. If the participant believe that, yes, we have made it happen, I have learned something, now I can also do the work for which I requested the coaching from my supervisor, etc., etc. So that evaluation will grant you the 2nd level certificate. Okay? Then if you want to go to a 3rd level certificate, same thing, you choose another supervisee, okay, with whom we develop another process, and at the end of the day, you receive your 3rd level certificate.
All right. So it means that for the level 1, it's 3 days.
It's 3 days.
Level 2?
In presence.
Oh, okay. And then do we have a duration, a time period, maybe a month or 2 weeks, or it's not defined?
No, the 3 days are immediately 3 days consecutive.
Okay.
Consecutive,
okay.
Yes, 3 days consecutive. But then, most of our clients are people who are busy in their work, because we are talking about medical doctors, we are talking about accountants in their organizations.
High-level professionals.
High-level professionals. They don't always have time to spend 3 days in a training like this.
Yeah.
So most of the time we manage to, let me say, to do this training, to organize the training on a half day. Meaning that, for instance, they come at noon, 12, we have lunch together, and at 1, we start the training till 7 or till 5, 5 p.m. So the afternoon on 3 days.
Yeah.
Or if for any reason they prefer to have the training in the morning, then they come, we do it, we finish with lunch, and then they go to their office.
Wow,
so that they can manage their appointment with patients and so on and so forth.
It's very flexible. So
it is.
I mean, it's open to the public. If you are out there and you are with us on this FOASPS TV, please feel free. If you want to receive this training in coaching and mentoring, FOASPS is offering this service and you won't regret it. So this brings us to the next question. You talked about some past experience that you had. So maybe you can just, enlighten us. Maybe you mind sharing with us some past experience. And are there some feedback from participants after they enjoyed the training?
Okay. Before I respond to your question, let me add this, because you announced to our viewers that if they want this kind of service, they can reach out to us and discuss. It is important to also mention that we have our website, and on our website we have a joint learning network platform where viewers can also go to the website, sign in for that joint learning network. We call it JLN. And on that JLN platform, we have a lot of training that are available, some webinars, etc. So you will realize that the coaching and mentoring materials are also available on our website and on that platform. Okay, so I just wanted to mention that for the interest of our public.
Okay.
Now, to respond to your question, I will say that we have been able to organize a coaching and mentoring program in Benin and in Côte d'Ivoire. The Benin one was the oldest session, I think 1 year ago almost. The Côte d'Ivoire one was the latest. So far we have from the Benin group, there were 20 and above participants. And out of the 20, we received the request from 3 of them who want to go for the second level. And we are working on that right now. The Côte d'Ivoire session, there were only 10. And till now, we haven't received any request to go for the second level. But that said, according to the feedback we received from most of them, we realized that they are applying. They are very successful in applying this through the result that their supervisees are producing. And sometimes even we receive feedback from the supervisor above the supervisor. Okay, so these are some of the interesting things to talk about.
Wow. So this is very interesting. FOASPS is giving a lot of services. Please visit the website and kindly go and discover all services that are offered by FOASPS. Mentoring and coaching is one program that we just talked about. If you are interested, please feel free to visit us to learn more about it. Ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of our show. But before we close, I would like to know whether you have a final word to say.
Yes, of course. Today we focus on coaching and mentoring. But when we are talking about FOASPS services, it is important, especially in the training aspect, it is important to say that we have a scope, a very large scope. Like I was saying, it goes from leadership development, team building, governance, strategic planning, project management. And so those are the things that we are able to do. But as we are talking now, we have already developed material that are available on the website. That was why I was mentioning that website, where they can find what is already there. But above what is there, there are a lot of other subjects, other topics on which we can work with our prospects. It is also important for our prospect to know that we are not a kind of training organization that develop the training program and sell like you sell bread.
Yeah.
Okay? We work based on request. We develop our training program based on request, based on context. So anytime we are called on to provide a training, the first step will be to discuss with the client, understand the context, even the rationale. Why are you thinking that training can bring a sizable response to your situation?
Yeah.
Sometimes you realize that training is not necessarily the solution.
Yeah.
We are able to let you know that the training is not the response. But if training will be the response, then what kind of training? Sometimes even we will go through a survey with your participant and other people in your organization to identify the most appropriate training that you need in your organization. So it's like when we are organizing a training on strategic planning for a group A, it doesn't mean that that same topic, governance or strategic planning, will be the same if we go to develop that training to group B, for example.
Yeah.
Okay, because the context is not the same, the needs are not the same, etc., etc. So we are really in a situation of adaptive approach to our training programs.
This is very interesting. So FOASPS tailors your requests according to your need. So they don't just do anything because in hazard, but they look at your need and then they tailored that request according to what you need. Ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of our show. Thank you so much for joining us today. We will be happy to have you in another show. Ladies and gentlemen, do not forget to follow us on FOASPS, and we will be back another time for another great show. Thank you very much for watching us.